My name is Faith Yergin, and I'm an applicant for the Getterman Scholarship. In G.M. Hopkins' poem Nondum, which means not yet in Latin, he describes a world in which people lament and cry out to the Lord without a response received. He details the heartbreak and melancholy that follows when people ache for the divine presence and are left empty-handed. However, the poem is not as grim as it initially appears. Rather than grieving the missing voice of God, Hopkins is subtly advocating for patience in seasons of waiting. The title of the poem is translated literally to mean not yet. It is not a cry of abandonment, but instead it is an explanation of virtue. Later in the poem, Hopkins invites the Lord to speak into his heart, begging for just a single word confirming his presence, and he likens it to that of a mother feeling immense joy and love for her infant child. It is an analysis of God's love for his people, even when we don't feel it. In the present world, it is very easy to take these lamentations to heart. There is so much darkness. How is it even possible to see the light, let alone feel it? Mental health is one lamentation that I am particularly passionate about, because there is a lack of outreach and education for teenagers who are silently suffering. After experiencing this great tragedy firsthand when a former student at my school committed suicide, I needed to take action. So I have developed a plan that has ultimately led to me being appointed as the committee head for a citywide wellness event that I'm holding alongside my city youth council. Because, as Hopkins mentions, God has whispered to my heart, and his whisper was telling me to stand up. These people suffering are his children, and it is our job as Christians to show them his love. His voice has also guided me to a career path that will show others his love. He has called me to do so through the medical field, and the Baylor Interdisciplinary Core and Honors programs, both of which I have applied to, can prepare me to pursue this calling by immersing me in a classically rooted curriculum, as well as a global perspective on learning. I think the vision of the Honors College education is obviously to provide students with a thoughtful, more integral education in order to teach morality, insight, cultural perspective, and depth alongside these core classes. I believe the intentional class discussion and close relationships with professors will prepare me to seek and recognize truth, beauty, and goodness through patience in the aching world that Hopkins describes. And the community of young truth seekers that it will place me with can only push me further down the road to a future teeming with truth. I believe that Baylor University can prepare me better than any other school can, because Baylor is intentional about bringing students to a place of deep thought rather than just surface-level education, and that's an experience of incalculable worth. The world that Hopkins describes is a dark place, but he also describes the hope that shines through it because of the love that Jesus Christ has for us. I believe that Baylor University is preparing students to be that hope in the world, and I yearn to be a part of that. It is a great opportunity to apply to these programs. Thank you for considering me.